Okay, firstly, this is central London, Carnaby Street on a Monday morning, just before lunchtime. It's like this all the time. I know we're in December, so it's going to be busy. But look where I am now. I've just popped in to make sure that it's okay for me to take the camera in, and very graciously that they've said I can. So I'm quite excited. I got an idea what's in there. One watch is missing because they've sold it. But anyway, let's take a look inside G-Shock, Carnaby Street. So I like to very quickly show the entrance, and I love to see the. I quite like this, visual, arriving at the shop experience. Now I know there's a new version of the DW5000. That's the other reference, I think, just from look at it. But when I saw that, I thought I was all excited. Anyway, but let me take you inside, and like always, the first thing I do is shoot to the right to see what we've got here. Now I do. This is Baby G. And I'm not familiar with the model names, but from a general aesthetic and general appearance, you can see the sort of youthful, colourful, design aesthetic here. When I say youthful, these are watches that I think anybody could. I mean, I would wear that blue one. In fact, if I was in the right mood, I would wear that pink one. But there is something about these Baby Gs that's very pleasant, and I find that if you were to receive one as a gift, or if you were to buy one of these as a gift, that they're always received so well. I mean, these two look fantastic, don't they? You could imagine doing all kinds of sport in those two, and of course the Baby G squares there. Aren't they lovely? Okay, so we start with Baby G, and then we have small, compact toughness. Now I can see one square there that looks like it's got a full metal bezel. Myself, I love the metal bezel and resin strap. I really do like it, and. Because so this is G-Shock's small, and using my words, I would put the size of these watches in the category of absolutely anyone. What age you are, you could wear one of these no problem at all. They're very wearable. Aren't they nice? I do like that purplish metal bezeled piece there. Let me zoom in. Isn't that kind of cool? I do like that. Okay, so then we move on to Central C G-Shock. Now, of course, you'll recognise these pieces here. Now, if you're wanting, real statement Casio style of watch, and you want it to be blue, very wearable, or red, I mean, you're not going to go any further than those two there. I mean, they will definitely give you that vibe and colourful statement, aren't they? Super. I do like them. And of course, you've got and I always forget the model references. I do apologise, but of course, this is again another very iconic design of G-Shock, and having the illuminator on the display like that is always so cool. And I know that I know there's a new one of these, and I can imagine G-Shock using this canvas. Is it the DW? I do forget. I do apologise, but you will recognise them, the style. There are so many, colour configurations you could have, so many colourways, and this leads on to the full metal Casios. Look at those. Look at the orange one. Oh, that looks quite special, doesn't it? That orange and steel colouring there. And I love the way you've got all the options available. You've got the blue dial, the silver dial, green, darker blue. So you've got the baby blue over here, and then the darker blue there, and then of course the orange. Aren't they lovely? Aren't they very cool? Okay, so I'll whiz over to, so we've got core collection here. And so once again, I think people that perhaps come to this video, they'll be familiar with these designs in the G-Shock range. And you can, aren't they they're sort of very utilitarian there. I could imagine a soldier wearing that, or a security guard. I don't know why, but I don't know, have that vibe about them. Or a jazzed up muscle car for some reason. That's how they jump out to me. But of course we've got a king square there. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you'll be aware of my my desire and my like of the G-Shock King. That is such a fun watch. It's so big, but it's very resin, very wearable, very usable. And I do apologise, because it's got the negative display, and because of the angle that we're at, the display might not show. But believe me, in the hand, when you look at that display, you can see it fine. But doesn't that have the stealthy, Darth Vader look to it? Isn't it lovely? And the splash of yellow colouring here. Yeah, that's quite nice. That's really nice. When I look at these, I actually am familiar with these watches, but when you're on camera trying to remember all the different names, I do apologise. It's my fault. I always forget. So 5-6000 series. So this is the they've taken the square and done the G-Shock magic, design magic to it. And so we've got the traditional colorway here. This is the original colorway of the original DW5000 G-Shock square, I believe. It might have been called the D5000 then, but it's definitely the 5000 square. And this was a 5600 variant of that. And I have a feeling people watching this are going to be more knowledgeable about these pieces than I am. But do not worry, at the end of this video we're going to end up with MRGs and the full metals, which is my favourite. But I do like these also. This negative display with a silver bezel, doesn't that look good? Aren't they nice? Okay, so we've got a limited edition piece. Now this does look very different. And now I know there's there's the purple one. Now that is a statement. Wearing that, you are definitely making a fashion statement, I suppose, or a statement about your choice of colourful timepieces. Isn't that cool? I do like it. And the black and yellow one here. I mean, isn't that cool? Imagine wearing that to a business meeting. You would be looked at for sure. I think I would love it. That would really suit me. Now the 2100 series, and the blue one straight away. I think I showed that earlier, although this might be a different blue. But look at that. That is a striking watch. And of course we've got there the yellow version and the lime green version. Aren't they nice? And I like the black and green colorway. Actually, that's very cool. You could wear that with a green jacket or a green shirt, or out in if you're in the army. Oh gosh, if you were in the army, how perfect would that be? Or if you were a security, well, for some reason that's very army. It's very military. I do like it. I know there's a green one here, and that is cool, but for some reason, this green one here, it does stand out. That's nice, actually. That's very nice. And I missed the yellow one. The yellow is a colour that I do like for watches. But and the jelly version of this 2100 there. Aren't they nice? Actually, these are very cool. Look at that. If this is a shape and design that you like, you're definitely going to find something there that grabs your attention. That's very nice. I love the use of colours there. It's very clever. Okay, so we have the store exclusive, and so In this cabinet today, we have this piece here. That's very cool. Again, I love the way G-Shock have a design and a variant of all their watches, and they are so good at producing and releasing these variants that are always, you know, something so interesting, and they're always something great to add to your collection. Aren't they nice? And I love the association there. The Western Hydrodynamic Research. I think I've said that correctly, but there you go. On camera, Western Hydrodynamic Research Collaboration. There we go, got it out. You know, I like it when brands actually, you know, look beyond just their core, you know, product, and they look at doing things that, you know, help other people and society as a whole. It's a nice thing, and why not? Okay, so we're over to limited edition pieces. Now, okay, let's go to the top there. And because of the negative displays, again, it might not be that clear, but believe me, in the hand, the display is you can read it. But it also gives that dark negative display aesthetic. You know, it is rather cool. And I love the light illumination button on the bezel there. It's a really useful, nice feature. And of course you've got the Casio style there. Aren't they nice? Okay, and then the squares here. Once again, every time I've been to Carnaby Street, I always see watches that, G-Shocks that I've never seen before. There's always something different on display. And oh, this with the protective bars over, isn't that kind of cool? I do like that, and the gold detailing there. It's very nice. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the Sports Tough Trekker. Now, yeah, these do look very sporty. The green one there captures my eye very quickly. And the illumination button once again. I love function and utility. And of course the black Darth Vader stealth, that one there. How cool is that? Look at that. If you wanted something just simple, well, in terms of its colour, that's going to check that box for sure. Actually, the green one, isn't that nice? Okay. So actually there's still plenty more cabinets left, but the Gravity Master. So I think we're going up the food chain here. So we've got this Gravity Master with some orange detailing and blue detailing on the dial here, and oh, I do like, actually, when you look at these dials a little closer, you start to see the detail that goes into the dial design. Gosh, there's a lot of detail there. I mean, the orange is very, I imagine the orange is very good in low lit environments. If you're heading towards, you know, something striking and perhaps matching your outfit, the blue one, I think that's going to look cool. But the more traditional, with its yellow visual interest, bit of colouring there, that's very nice. The Gravity Master is pretty cool, actually, isn't it? Okay, so we're over to the Master of G cabinet. I always like this G-Shock yacht, this boat, this very military feeling boat. Isn't it cool? And of course we've got this helmet. That looks like a fighter pilot helmet of some description. Anyway, I just sort of like it, actually. I do like it. I love the way, if I zoom out a little bit, it might be too far. I love the way the frogs sit there. Now, I've shown this before a few times. These frogmans are actually at the higher range, the higher end of G-Shock watches in terms of their. Actually, I can't say that the build quality is better than the other G-Shocks, because all the G-Shocks in here they're all made with extremely high build quality tolerances and materials. They're all very well made items, but using my words, I can see that G-Shock have put an awful lot of effort into designing something that's visually, very different and visually very appealing, but also has a lot of utility. And I've used these Frogmans to swim in, and actually I've used the Frogman that you can use for diving. I have used that for diving, but these days I am more. I normally wear these things to show off and to look cool. And this white and gold one, that is rather cool. I mean, I would be. Imagine being in the summer on a beach or with a white T-shirt. This is going to be a really, a standout piece. Look at that. In the hand, these things are very different, I have to tell you. If you've never had a Frogman in your hand, it does feel high quality, and it feels something different. Because the core structure of these watches is metal, and in this case that it's titanium. This one is titanium, and this might be gold-plated titanium. If it's not titanium, it's steel, but it's definitely got a metal main housing part with the resin bezel covering, and it's a format that I love, and it makes it very comfortable to wear, and it gives it this colourful aesthetic. It's really nice. I know I've spent a bit of time on these frogs, but I do like them. And of course we've got this red one in water on display there for you. And I've spent some, every time I see that white one, I like it. I'm sure that someone watched one of my other videos, and as a result bought this watch from this store, I think. Anyway, look at that. And of course they've got one on display here that it has been in the real world, on the land, Mudmaster. That does look cool, doesn't it? I mean, G-Shock, I've noticed, have marketed these things, to be worn. I mean, they are, these watches are for utility. You are supposed to use them out in the wild. That's kind of cool, isn't it? It looks like, it's having a heck of a time there. I bet you it still works perfectly. Okay, so we've got, and I've shown this before a number of times, they've done something to the display here. I think this is a more recent technology that G-Shock have in their new displays. And if I capture it this time, it's a very legible display. I might be able to capture it here. Yeah, so on this occasion, with this negative display, the contrast is very visible. And I can imagine you could see that in very low light without using the light function. It is very light. And also the negative display one there, yeah, it's because it's facing down. It's not as, but this one really illustrates what it's like in the hand in daylight. Isn't it nice? And of course, this Mudman. I've looked at this a number of times. That is a lovely, clear, large display, which I suppose is my favourite. Now, I do like the larger, clearer, large display pieces. They are very, very nice. I do apologise, I've spent so much time on this occasion, but I think all these watches really deserve me putting the camera on them. But what I might do is let's go down to this end. And at the end, I will get to the MRGs. We are heading in that direction. But of course, we have the GM2100 series here, and this steel bezel, white rubber strap, Casio style of watch. Isn't that nice? And I've got a resin strap there. Oh, and there's this nice Darth Vader blacked out stealthy one there. Oh, that looks very good. Doesn't that look nice? And there's another dark coloured there, although, ooh, there's something going on with that dial. Well, that looks very cool. You should be able to see that on camera. There's like a sun ray a mirage effect on the dial. It's lovely. It's got a reddish colour, a blue colour. It's very nice. And it looks like a DLC case. The same dial but with a silver case there. Gosh, I could spend ages in here. Right, I'm going to rush along. Now, I think I saw these earlier, so I won't spend the 2110Ds. There we go. Aren't they lovely? I showed those earlier. They are super. And so we have some more colour variants here. Gold, silver, a salmon dial, blue, a copper tone. Oh, that's nice. That copper tone is lovely. Look at that. And I will take a look at these two, hopefully if I get time. So these are new releases of these are new metal 2100s, and I have been wanting to see these in my hand actually. Aren't they cool? Okay, and I forget the model number of this one. I do apologise, but look at the copper colouring tone on there. I always looked at these and I thought, you know, it might be nice to get one, but I don't think I ever did. And I'm not sure that they make these any longer, so now they're all collectible. So what's here in this shop is probably the remaining stock. Now, Full Metal Square, the one that set it all off, the B5000. And recently they produced this variant with the green outer part on the dial there, and then the negative display with the blue part. They do look very cool. Once again, when G-Shock produced these variants, I always think to myself, you know, these are different watches. They really are. I suppose it's why I have so many myself. But of course we've got the silver cornflake there, and then we have one of the carbons. Now I've got a feeling that this might be the only one that is left, because I know that they've lots of places, and the website itself, I think they've all sold out of these carbons. And I think these carbons are going to be a very desirable collectible G-Shock Square, definitely in the future. It's always when you can't get these things, they always become super collectible. And because this is so different, I've got a feeling this is going to be collectible. Okay, so what I will do is, because gosh, I've been filming 20 minutes here. Oh, this one here. I've looked at this a number of times, the silver and the gold detailing, and I've always thought that the colour combination here provides so much visual interest. For me anyway, this is one of my favourites, and it's only because there's so many options really that I haven't actually got this MTG myself, but believe me, I've looked at it a number of times. Okay, let's go over to MRG. Okay, so here we have two MRG-B2000s. Now, just before I show you them, once again, I want to show you this MRG part in the Carnaby Street boutique. And I love coming here, well, because I like the MRG pieces, but I love the display and the information that is available about the manufacture and the design aesthetic of MRG. Now, of course, look at, you're going to notice my favorites here, the MRG squares. And but I'll just quickly show you the display showing you examples of the manufacturing process that G-Shock used. And I can tell you that the tolerances, the machining tolerances on these parts must be insane. The technology involved in the manufacturing must be something, it must be the effort and cost that MRG put into it. And apparently they have their own, of course, they have a workshop for these MRG pieces. And they really do put so much time and effort into the latest technology to produce the latest technology and to create these pieces. Look at those samurai swords, aren't they cool? And of course we've got the MRG, the B210 piece here. Now I will come to this in a moment because it's one that I really like myself. And we've got, oh, look at those. I would be here all day. I won't get a chance to look at all of them. Okay, so let's go back to the B2000. Now, I received a comment from someone, and he said to me something along the lines of, why don't I have this, this MRG? And I thought to myself, I don't have a good answer off the top of my head, because this is a true MRG, because this was specifically designed to be a watch all by itself. So Casio haven't done an MRG version of another watch. This is an MRG version of itself. And I thought, you are correct, mister. Why haven't I got this watch? It's because after that comment, I went onto the website and I looked through the MRG pieces, and I thought to myself, actually, this is really, really nice. And I sort of like the fact that you can see there's not a button there in the top left corner, but it sort of matches the whole thing about MRG, Casio G-Shocks, that its form and function, its design and function, always together. So even though they've got these fabulous designs over something that has function, they've managed to marry the two together, you know, so lovely at that time, but also to create such high levels of visual interest. Now, because this might be the very first time I've put this watch in my hand, you know, I am thinking to myself, gosh, why don't I have one of these? Because I do wear analog watches. I mean, I wear all sorts of watches, and I know that I would wear this. This would be a daily wearer for me, and because of its high-grade titanium, the weight of it is it's not as heavy as it might look, because it is a large watch. But for someone like me, being large, being the size it is absolutely perfect. And you can see there on with my grey top, how cool does that look? I'm such a fashion victim, aren't I? Now, I think this is their base model of the B2000s, and I knew I was going to like it. I really was. But it made me think that the comment that that guy left, I'm assuming it was a guy, I now understand why he said what he said, because I am thinking to myself, why don't I have this? Why don't I have a B2000? Isn't it nice? Isn't that lovely? That is really nice. Okay, so the one next to it is their very latest, and I think this might even be the one of the most expensive G-Shocks that they've released. Now, when I say that, not the most expensive, because G-Shock have released watches, you know, in the outer stratosphere. And I don't know the material name offhand, but actually this does feel like the price tag it has. So if you go to the website and look at the latest releases of MRGs, you're going to recognize this. And once again, I've said a number of times, these watches, even though they look nice, they look good on video, in their hand, they always present you with something more. There's always more to them. Now, it's slightly heavier than the whole titanium version here, and I think it's because they've used an exotic material. I'm not even going to, because I've forgotten what material that is, but it looks fabulous. I do apologise. It'll probably be in the title, and it's because I'm on camera. I've forgotten what it's called, but I don't want that to take me away from the video, because in a minute I will have to leave actually. Anyway, look at that. And I love the way that the lock button there is G-Shock always match. They always have this color matching. So all the bits and pieces that you see, everything with visual interest, it's all color matched. The screws, the buttons, the crowns, but detailing on the dial, for example, it always matches, you know, things like that on the buckle. Now this is lovely. It really is. So I can totally see now why, if you started collecting the B2000, you would fall down a very deep hole of collecting these pieces. These really are very nice. Gosh, I do like. Yeah, I'm worried that if I got this one, I'd want this one, and then you start being petrified about your bank account. But anyway, that's a nice problem to have, I suppose. But aren't they lovely? They really are. Yeah, I've got to thank that guy that left me that comment, because I do agree with him. Why don't I have this piece? Why don't I? I do not know. Because this really would be a piece in your collection that would, I mean, if you're a G-Shock fan or an MRG G-Shock fan, this is going to be something very special. And the thing is, because this is the first time I'm holding this watch, I know straight off that I would wear this often. This would be a go-to watch that I wear all the time. It would be a daily wearer, as people say. And knowing me, you know, this would be a daily wearer as well. The absolute top flight watch. There is something, when you hold this black one, G-Shock have done something very cool here, because it feels that there's a weight difference, and so I'm just wondering what's creating that weight difference. It'll be the exotic materials that they've used to build this latest release. The colourway is delightful. Yeah, I am so pleased that I've seen the B2000 today and this new release, because I am very impressed. Aren't they super? So here we have the MRG-B2100, but the DLC version. Now, Carnaby Street only had the silver version, and that has been sold. So they don't have another silver version. And I was really hoping to have that one. But I knew that they might have the B5000R. And I thought to myself, actually, it's probably better that they have the black DLC version of the 2100, because I was actually thinking which one of these watches do I want myself, because I was holding out for the silver version of this. It's not because I prefer it I prefer it over this black one, because I'd actually like both. But for my collection and, you know, what I can and can't do, it was the silver one that I was heading over towards. Now, the reason that I'm holding this, the B5000R, is because I have the same dilemma. Every time I hold it, I think I really do want this rubber strap MRG square, because even though I do like bracelets, and you know, maybe the bracelet is my favorite, there is something about this rubber strap that is so special as well. And because it's on this deployant buckle like this, I know it's going to be so wearable. Now, Casio G-Shock have recently announced that they are going to re-release the very first square, the DW5000, I think is the part number. So it's the watch that is the reason that this one exists. Now, because that square, and the price point is much less than MRG, because it really is a new materials, a new technology of something that was made 40 years ago. But I was looking at that thinking, I'm definitely going to buy that because it's the price point is much more accessible than the MRG. And it has that rubber bracelet, which is the bit that I was sort of wanting in my collection. But then I thought, hang on a second, I've been lusting after the B5000R for so long now. You know, why don't I pull the trigger and get the B5000 and get this over the DW5000, the re-release? Because one of the features that I'm a big fan of is the fact that it's Bluetooth and solar powered, because the Bluetooth enables it to synchronize and keep perfect time always. So when I'm traveling and going through borders and different countries, the time change is automatically integrated and transmitted to this watch. So as you get off the aeroplane, the MRGs with the Bluetooth connection, they're already always synchronized to the local time. So that's something that for me has a lot of function. And as I hold it on my wrist like that, it's making me think, why on this planet do I not have this watch? Because I would wear it all the time. So that's why it's in my hand, because both of these watches are creating me nothing but trouble, because I want both of them. I really do. And you know, because I tell everyone to save up and to only get the watch that your heart really wants. I'm taking my own medicine, I'm saving up, and I'm trying to get the watch that I only want. Now, it's very easy to want all these watches. You find yourself in a pickle, and because this is the black one, and then this is black DLC, this is black DLC. I thought today that not having the silver one here, is fine because the black one is here. Because then I was thinking, hold on, if you were to have only a 2-watch collection, imagine having this and the silver version of this, or these two, exactly these two, and these two were your collection. Especially if this was silver, they would scratch all the itches you could think of, because you've got an analog watch that does everything and looks great with a suit or casual, and then you've got your G-Shock Square that absolutely does everything in terms of looking cool and utility. And I thought, wow, what a great thing to have. Aren't they so nice? They really are. Look at that. I don't know what to say. I think if you're thinking about these, I know they're expensive. In the hand like this, they are definitely exquisite, and when they're in the hand, you realize why they cost so much money. And it's because of how they feel, how they're made, the engineering that goes in, the fit and finish of the materials, and also the technology. And this is solar powered. It's got less functions than the digital Square here, but it's got absolutely everything that you need as a daily wearer. And of course, titanium, all the titanium used on MRG, they're always a high grade of titanium, and they're always hardened further than normal titanium. So you are getting something that's very technology rich and technical material spec, very high end. And they really are desirable watches. And once again, I've got that horrible feeling of, I want both. What a disaster. Every time I come here, I walk out thinking, oh gosh, I want both those watches. Every time. I mean, it's delightful holding them, but when you're constantly wanting the things, what a nuisance. Anyway, there you go. B5000R and MRG-B2100. This is, you're at the very top here.